So your intention and your statement of desire is really what fuels a spell. It's exactly what you want to get out of it, and that's why it's so crucial to get it right and get it specific, bleh, and get it succinct. Wow, that was a lot harder than I thought it would be at 6:31 at night, but I've been up for about 12 hours now, so we'll see how this goes. Um, Now, anyway, in regards to working with the 50 names of Marduk and the Necronomicon spellbook and what have you, the main idea with an intention is that you have it as specific as you can in your mind. When you go to say the prayer and then you stare at the sigil and visualize what you want. Now, for those of you that have a hard time with visualization, one, work on it, and I have a video on that, by the way. And two, if some people, honestly, I forgot the name of the syndrome for it, but they can't see anything in here. Um, my own conjecture is that they just haven't unlocked that yet, but that's neither here or there. But anyway, and I'm extremely good at visualization, but one of the things that keeps me focused is the statement of my desire when I work a spell. And I boil it down to one specific sentence that I can repeat over and over and over like a mantra. So let me see if I can give you guys an example here. There's a great book that I have on it. Once again, it's upstairs. I didn't feel like going to get it, but um, it gives the example of, let's say that you do a spell because you have a lot of bills and you're like, I wish these bills would go away. Your intention might mean that you want to have a job to be able to cover the bills. You might want to be able to win the lottery to get the bills. You're basically saying, I need to pay these bills. But that's not very specific, is it? So let's say you have a car payment. You do a spell because you want the bill to be alleviated, to be more easily paid, or you want to have an easier time with that bill. Well, depending on how you word it, if you're not specific enough, you could get into an accident and then the car's gone, and guess what? No more payment. Well, I mean, like, that doesn't 100% technically work, but maybe you guys get the idea. You could say the same thing with, like, um, I don't know, rent on an apartment, and then apartment burns down. So now, guess what? No apartment, no rent. Um, is this making sense? Put it down there. But so if you just say, I want to get rid of these bills, the universe is going to find the quickest way to helping you with your desire, whether it's destructive or not. If the easiest way to alleviate you of something is to destroy it, your energy and the universe itself, with the way that my understanding of magic works, and in all the books I've read and all the things I've listened to and watched and talked to, and different people I've talked to, the universe has the quickest way of getting you what you want, which is why it's very important to be very specific. Magic is very simple, as my really good friend would say and did say last week. So, for example, okay, let's go with like the rent example, I suppose. You know, if you don't want to have so much stress over this rent bill, you got to be specific. You would say, I want to find a job that will help me cover this bill. If you want somebody out of your life, one of my greatest examples, right? You wouldn't say, I want them out of my life, that simply because they could get hit by a bus and then, yeah, they're out. So you could say, I wish this person would leave me alone, or I don't want this person to talk to me anymore. That's much more specific, and it's a lot less harmful. You know? Um, so, for those of you that, like, if you want, like, people work with Ziku all the time because they want to be able to find money. I believe he's number 13, if I'm correct on that. I know the power word is Gigi Maganpa off the top of my head, because my fiance recited it a bajillion times. But now, interesting thing about Ziku is he can help you find like treasure. He can also help you find lost objects. But once again, I'm getting off topic. God, I do that a lot. Anyway, so if you're working with Ziku because you want money, well, you could, if you just say, I want to find money, money could come to you through a relative dying and leaving you an inheritance. Money could come to you through, like something breaking that you wouldn't have to pay for anymore, so you would accrue money that way. Money could come to you from winning the lottery. Money could come to you from getting a job with a much bigger paycheck. You get the point? So you need to be more specific. You could say to Ziku, if you're working with him, I want to win the lottery. You know, I will use these numbers on the Powerball, dun 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 dun, and I will win the lottery. And you can even charge like the sigil over the lottery ticket or something. Not entirely sure if that would work because the universe also has its own things in play. And remember, if you do a spell and it doesn't 100% work out for you, your intention wasn't good enough, your focus wasn't good enough, or there's something different or better in store for you. But so if you want to get rid of somebody out of your life, you have to be very specific to not harm them. That's why I would always start with, when I'm thinking about if I'm going to word a spell or something, and with, and no harm will come to anybody as a result of this. And you could even add that to the end of, if you're going to take my idea, to your little mantra, your little phrase that you use. So, I mean, examples with me is, I wanted to be better at public speaking and, not have stage fright at one point. So I would be like, when I step into a classroom, I will be 100% confident. When I step into a classroom, I will be 100% confident. And I would just repeat that over and over and over while staring at the sigil when I was working with it. Can't exactly remember what sigil I was working with at the time, but I've done so many of these, so I have a little sympathy on that one. But mainly, what I would do with this kind of thing is, if you have a desire, start writing about it. Or if you don't like writing, or you have like dysgraphia or something like that, then start recording yourself talking about it. Or even just have a free talking session, in front of a mirror even, because remember, we don't want to share our intentions with other people because then they get clouded. So do this with yourself, whether you're social or not. Sorry extroverts, got to do this alone. But so start having that conversation with yourself, with writing or verbiage, what have you, and really talk out what you want to do. Write it out. It might be 3 pages. It might be a paragraph. It might be a sentence. If it's a sentence, good, we're getting somewhere. Check that it's specific enough to where nothing is going to come out of left field because of what you are doing. Make it very specific. I want to have a better paying job to help cover this car payment. Boom. Specific. Even in that statement of intention, that has no harm on anyone. So I would let that fly. Now, I want this person to stop talking to me and move on. Well, you set it up where they're not talking to you anymore and they're moving on, meaning they're still here. These examples probably aren't the best, but I think you guys get the idea. So after you have that whole paragraph or whatever written out, boil it down to something that you can repeat to yourself, something you can memorize, something kind of short, something you can just chant over and over. These things become chants, and as you guys know from my my video on energy, chanting builds energy. So if you can come up with this short phrase and then keep it going in your head, if you're going to follow my example, that is going to build energy. And the more that we say it, and I would even say it out loud, when you're staring at the sigil, because it's in here. It's more powerful when it's coming out here. Just like all the incantations in the necro should be said aloud. What quiet in lowercase and loud in uppercase. But I personally believe that intentions and spells are done better when they are verbalized, because when it's in here, it's in the mental plane, or in the astral plane or mental plane. But we are physical beings. We are working on the physical plane, and we want our things to manifest on the physical plane. So when we word our intentions out of here, that already brings our intention to the physical plane. So your desire is closer to manifesting because it's not off in the ether. It's not in here. It's out here. Wording things out loud is a lot like doing something rather than thinking about it. Yeah, I think I should clean out the fridge. Is that going to get the fridge clean? No. Actually doing it. So maybe you guys get this idea. I think that I've kicked this horse a little bit too much with this video, because now it's about 10 minutes. But let me know what you guys think, and good hunting.